On the agenda, we have career changes and surviving cutbacks, how to find work that is interesting and motivating, questions to ask yourself, and important tips. Back in the early 90s, the government did some major cutbacks and I was affected. The week before I was affected, I went to see a group of people with my DG to see what they were working on. They were working on re-engineering all kinds of services, knowing that we now had computers. They found ways to re-engineer the processes to make things much smoother. Back at the elevator, I was in the elevator along with my boss, and I told the DG, geez, I wish I could work for them. He said, well, why don't you call Bob? He's the director over there, and perhaps he'll have something for you. So sure enough, I called Bob, and Bob met with me, and he said, geez, we'd like to have you on our team. And he offered to take me on a lateral transfer. However, when I went back to the office, my director did not agree on letting me go on a lateral transfer. He wanted me, he said, if you want to go, they'll have to take you, but not on a lateral transfer. So I didn't take the job, but that happened on Friday. On the Monday, there was a big announcement that the entire branch that I worked for, the marketing branch, was abolished. The first thing I did, I came out of that office, I made a phone call to Bob, and Bob said, for sure, you start working for me tomorrow. So I moved to Bob's organization, and for the longest time, there was no promotion. I enjoyed the work, but there was no promotion because everybody was being cut back. So there was nobody being promoted. There was no competition to be had. So what I did, my strategy was to get educated. I changed career to go in IT. So I took 12 courses in IT at Ottawa U. And that really helped me for the day when the competition started again. I was one of the first person to be to get a promotion. So some important lessons learned here. First, be ready to take some lateral transfers. Do your networking, because as you saw for myself, if I hadn't done any networking, I probably wouldn't have had that job. And be prepared for a career change. The other lessons learned is education. Continuous education is paramount for you to get ahead during these times. Another lessons learned is to be prepared to take an opportunity when it shows up. Just jump on it. Sometimes you never know, a new opportunity shows up. Be ready to take that opportunity. How to find out work that is interesting and motivating. Start paying attention to the things that you are drawn to or that you are interested in. Engage with your interest. Figure out what a career in this area could look like. Do your networking to help you figure out what a job in this area could be. You may need to get a career advisory to help you. These are questions to ask yourself to find out what you want to do and what is your purpose. First, what are my current skills, qualifications, and qualities? Which job might my current background and qualities be well suited for? Which skills, qualifications, and qualities I need to develop for jobs I find interesting? Which task, projects, or element at work do I enjoy the most and why? What do I want to do more or less at work? Do I have a dream job? If so, what about the job is appealing to you? What are my must-have and nice-to-have in a job? Salary, schedule, benefits, etc. In what capacity would I like to work with others? What types of work culture and environment do I need? Be bold, but not dumb. I'll give you the example of this lady that used to work with me. She wanted to retire early and find something to do, a job to do after work. She finally started a business. She had been dating this guy from the Himalaya who was a guard over there. Actually, he was a guide, sorry, not a guard, a guide over there for the mountains. And she finally organized trips that she booked planes and made arrangements to have just enough people on the plane so she would make money to be able to afford her own trip to go to the Himalaya and be with her boyfriend and enjoy her holidays with him without having to pay. So that became her business. I've never heard back from her, so I don't know if this was a good idea or a dumb idea, but she has done it. Keep your resume up to date and seek advice in preparing your resume. Go ask people for their input. I've had somebody just recently, a fellow who came to see me, and I looked at his resume, his background, his current job. He had been working at managing projects related to IT, although he was not in IT himself. He was in an administrative type role, but as a project manager. So I looked at his resume and I said, well, why don't you take some additional course in IT and do a career change and go to work in IT, where there's a lot of opportunity for advancement, and it pays more if you are a CS in the government than you are in an administrative group. That excited him. He totally changed his resume, went back to school, and he has changed his career plan. He is now looking to a IT career. Be ready to adapt to change. The world is constantly changing, so you need to be ready to adapt. A good example is the coronavirus changed everything. Some people lost their jobs, some worked from home. There's been all kinds of changes, but we have adapted. Be ready to pursue an opportunity. I'll give you the example. Earlier in my career, I wanted to see Canada, and I pursued several opportunities. I've worked in New Brunswick, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in Edmonton, and in Ottawa, all through my career in the federal government. So there's all kinds of opportunities. Follow your heart and follow your opportunities. Understand that sometimes there are risks. For example, I know of a lady, she's a consultant in a large firm and has been there for a number of years, but she has recently did some project in the federal government and got quite interested, and she would like to have a career in the federal government. She may need to take a one-year term position at first, which is a little risky compared to having her full-time job in the large firm in IT in the industry. But if she's willing to take that risk, it may pay off. Also, don't burn your bridges. You never know. You may need to go back to the organization that you left, whether it's in the same job or in a different capacity. Also, you need to have good references, so you need to keep good relationship with the people that you used to work with.